Lee LeClaire was born in Chicago, Illinois in 1918. He graduated high school at Riverside Brookfield High School and attended college at San Diego State, now known as the University of San Diego. He taught himself tennis in Chicago when he was young. He taught tennis in many places over the years. In Corpus Christi, he taught private lessons. After moving to Houston, he became the assistant pro at River Oaks Country Club. He had 30 years of experience with the City of Houston Parks and Recreation. He helped open and manage the McGregor Park Tennis Center and later moved to open the Southwest Tennis Center in Houston as a manager and head pro. He considered his greatest accomplishment in tennis to be instilling the love of the game to those whom he came in contact with. He also enjoyed mentoring young tennis pros. Meaningful tennis memories include the Junior Davis Cup, being a charter member of the USPTA, the Bluebonnet Tennis Tournament, coaching U of H tennis, opening and managing McGregor Park Tennis and Southwest Tennis, sponsoring junior tennis in Texas, and the opportunity he had to mentor countless tennis professionals. Lee LeClaire devoted his life to tennis. He's survived by Patty LeClaire and 6 children: William LeClaire, Charles LeClaire, Bradley LeClaire, Gigi Dan, Suzanne Bach, and Allison Todorov. He has 15 grandchildren and several great-grandchildren. John Peterson was born in Omaha, Nebraska. He attended Buena Vista College and received a Bachelor of the Arts in English. His coaches include Van Phillips and John Naughton. He first played tennis in the summer of 1968. The tennis courts were next to the football practice facility where he had been coaching. The tennis players looked like they were having fun. He played tennis and was hooked from the start. He was drafted into coaching tennis in the winter of 1975 to 76. In addition to being the football, basketball, and track coach, he became the tennis coach at Nimitz Middle School in San Antonio. His greatest tennis accomplishment is making friendships through tennis that have lasted throughout the years. His favorite memories are of taking students to championships in middle school and junior college. In his spare time, he enjoys reading, bicycling, backpacking, and climbing. His wife is Dorothy Peterson, and he has 2 children, Angela and Wyatt. Jack Sampson was born in Chicago, Illinois in 1891 and was an accomplished football player under legendary University of Chicago coach Amos Alonzo Stagg. After college, Jack took up tennis as a lifetime sport and became an accomplished player and coach of his 2 daughters, Jeannie and Jane. As Jeannie Kamrath's father, Jack was asked to move to Houston to live with the Kamraths and to begin running the fledgling Houston Tennis Patrons in 1952 to promote tennis, tournaments for all age groups, good sportsmanship, and junior tennis throughout Houston. His achievements to introduce tennis to all income levels through free tennis clinics at city parks and schools had never before been accomplished in Houston. He also helped develop highly ranked Houston junior tennis players, resulting in Houston having more nationally ranked players in 1961 than any other American city. Jack was the leader behind the City of Houston building 3 new tennis centers between 1959 and 1970 at Memorial Park, Homer Ford Tennis Center, and Lee LeClaire Tennis Center. Sampson also brought the Jack Kramer Pro Tennis Circuit to Houston for many years in the 1950s and 60s to expose Houstonians to top-level pro tennis. The Houston Tennis Patrons became the Houston Tennis Association and periodically awards the J.J. Sampson Tennis Service Award to deserving Houston individuals who have exemplified the kind of unselfish dedication, work, and service to promote and grow the game of tennis in the Houston area. His 17 years of voluntary service was instrumental in Houston becoming one of the truly great tennis cities in America. Jeannie Sampson was born in 1912 in Chicago, Illinois, and learned to play tennis with the coaching of her father, Jack Sampson. She became the top-ranked Midwestern player in the late 1920s and early 30s and met her future husband, Carl Kamrath, on the Midwest tennis circuit. After extensive tennis travel to the East, including the Ladies Nationals at Forest Hills, she traveled to Austin, Texas to attend UT, where she was invited to play on the men's varsity courts by Dr. Pennick because of the force and severity of her ground strokes, the first woman player to be so invited. Jeannie played in the first then Houston Tennis Invitational Tournament in 1931 at River Oaks. She reached the finals of that tournament in 1932, 33, and 34, and with husband Carl helped recruit America's top amateurs to the fledgling tournament, including Bitsy Grant, Ellsworth Vines, Frankie Parker, and George Lott. Upon moving to Houston in 1937, Jeannie immediately became the first teaching tennis professional at both the Houston and River Oaks country clubs, and began teaching both members and juniors at both clubs until she and her family moved to Fort Sam Houston during the war. While teaching the fundamentals of footwork and racket preparation, she was particularly interested in stressing the value of the game of tennis to build character, sportsmanship, and fair play to help build good citizens for America. After 1945, Jeannie resumed her interest in the River Oaks Invitational by helping to bring top amateurs to the tournament and helped to promote players being invited to stay the week in members' homes, a great River Oaks tradition that continues to this day. Jeannie was the behind-the-scenes mover and shaker in pushing for the establishing of the Houston Tennis Patrons in 1951 and persuading her father, Jack Sampson, to move to Houston from Chicago to establish an office and run this organization as a volunteer for the next 17 years. With Jack Sampson, she initiated the first free citywide tennis clinics at park tennis courts throughout Houston, playing tennis exhibitions with Gladys Heldman, Hugh Sweeney, Peggy Startzman, and other Houston tennis enthusiasts. Jeannie still enjoys watching tennis, and on December 29, 2012, she celebrated her 100th birthday in Houston. Hugh Sweeney was born in Shreveport, Louisiana in 1928. Though he was born there, he spent all his life after high school in Texas. He attended Byrd High School in Shreveport, then went to college at the University of Houston. His coaches include Bob Nesmith and John Hoff. He began playing tennis as a teenager and continued at Memorial Park in Houston. Some of his greatest tennis accomplishments included qualifying for and playing in the Wimbledon Championships and the U.S. National Championships, winning the championships in the Big Three in the same year, which consisted of the Houston Open, the Fall Festival, and the TAAF Championships, and being able to play and be successful on the international tennis circuit, both in the United States and abroad. His most meaningful tennis memories included playing in Wimbledon and the U.S. Open several times, traveling with top players and making many new friends from around the world while playing in the international tennis circuit. Hugh brought the Virginia Slims tournament to Houston and built the Net Set Racket Club, known today as the West Side Tennis Club. Teaming up with Lamar Hunt, he brought the WCT End-of-Year Championships to Houston, which leads up to the WCT Finals in Dallas. He was the owner of the Houston Angels World Championship women's basketball team of the WBL. The WBL preceded the WNBA. Hugh also brought top-flight high-goal polo to Houston and promoted it successfully for many years. He's survived by a nephew, Pat Fincannon.